Hi, and welcome to this PowerShell Excel tutorial video. So this one is kind of separate from this series. So this is just working on like an actual example where we're going to be kind of incorporating a bunch of the things that we've learned over the series and kind of like putting them in practice. So we did this one video not too long ago for Parker Magnussen, and he also wanted to know how to do it with Excel files. So it was with CSV files was the first time that we did it. So we had a bunch of CSV files in a folder location, and he wanted to know how to calculate the sum of a specific column across all those files and then get an output of the total per file. And then uh, given that option, you can also calculate the total of all the columns across all the files. But all he really wanted or she wanted was just simply the total of the column per file in a table. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the Excel version of that. And also I'm going to be giving an extra example of what if you didn't have multiple Excel files, but just one Excel file and multiple sheets. So we're going to be doing multiple sheets and multiple files. So let's go ahead and let's get started on that one. So what I've already done is I've already created a bunch of my working files. So on my desktop in my Excel folder, I have some files. So here it's going to be 4 files with data in there. And then the data is just simply name and hours worked. So we have a bunch of data in there. And then some sheets is just one file, which is called month. And then in there, we have basically 4 sheets with the same data in it, week 1 through 4. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we are going to want to go ahead and create our variable for our working folder. So let's just create a variable called working folder, and we're going to set that to C, users, administrator, desktop, Excel, and we're going to start with the files. So we're going to go into the sum files. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is grab all of our files that we have. So for that, we're going to create a variable called files, and we're going to do get child item. And then the path is we're going to set that to our working folder. And then we want to make sure, I know that it is only Excel files in there right now, but if ever you encountered a situation where there might not be only Excel files, let's go ahead and let's specify that we are only looking for XLSX files. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to specify the column name that we want to add. So we're going to do column name, and we're going to set that to hours worked. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to create a array list right away for the totals, and we're going to set that to a system dot collections dot array list. We're going to set that to an empty array list. And as you can imagine, we're going to do a for each file in files, and open and close curly brackets. We're going to set up our data variable, which is going to be equal to import Excel, and then our path, which is going to be file dot full name. And then we're going to set up a temporary variable called total, which is going to keep track of our total for that file. And then we're going to do for each row in data, we're going to increase the total by the row dot column name that we specified that we want to calculate that total for. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to do a file details object here. And we're going to call it, we're going to create that as a new object. Type name is going to be PS object. And we're going to go ahead and do a add member. Input object is going to be file details. Member type is going to be note property. name is going to be file.name in this case. Oops, sorry. The name is going to be file name, and the value is going to be $file.name. And then we're going to be doing the same add member here on the bottom, but instead we are going to do the total from column name, and then the value there, we're going to set that equal to total. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a totals dot add file details. And once again, like always, we don't want to have the index pop up in our output, so we're just going to add the void in square brackets in front of it. And then let's just go ahead and let's do a write output of our totals here. And let's see what this looks like. So there it is. For Excel files, we have our table here. So in the week 1 Excel file, we have 370, week 2, 356, week 3, 360, and week 4 is 386. So there's all of our totals across all those different files. So now let's say we wanted to take a look at the sheets. So the reason why I went through the files pretty quickly, as you could probably imagine, like this is definitely quite quick compared to the typical videos that I make. We've already made this example with CSV files, and it was very, very similar. So I didn't think of going into super high detail in this one. We're going to be going into a little bit more detail in calculating the sheets. So what we have here for the sheets, so let me just create a new file here, Excel calc some sheets.ps1, and let's just go ahead and let's just copy the import module. So here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set our working folder once again, or we can even set this one to working file actually. So let's just go ahead and let's set that to C users administrator desktop Excel some sheets, and then let's set that to the month XLSX. Perfect. So then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to open up that file. So we're going to say file equals open Excel package path and working file. Now, the reason why we have to open the package is because we have multiple sheets, but we might not necessarily know the name of those sheets. So what I'm doing is I'm taking as if we have this Excel file that we have. We don't necessarily know the name of the sheets, but we know the name of the column that we have to add on each sheet. And, you know, someone might always add a sheet to that. So we want to be able to just not have that like manually typed in all the sheet names. So this is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be opening the file. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a variable called sheets. And we're going to set that to file dot, let me just open this here. So file dot workbook dot worksheets. So if we look at what this gives us, we will actually see that it gives us all the sheet names, all the sheets and all the details about those sheets. So all we want to do is grab the name. So we're going to do a dot name here. And then if we run this, we will see that it gives us only the sheet names. So we're going to be storing that in a variable called sheets. Once again, we're going to have our column name, and we're going to have that equal to hours worked. And then we're going to have our totals, which is going to be a system dot collections dot array list, and we're going to create a empty array list here. And then what we're going to do, so now it's pretty much similar to the files actually at this point. So what we're going to be doing is a for each sheet in sheets. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a data equals import Excel. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pointing to the Excel package instead of just repointing to the sheet. We already have the Excel package open. So we're going to do import Excel package, and we're going to point to our file. And then our worksheet name, we're going to put in sheet, our variable. And then what we can do is we're going to create our little temporary total for each file, or for each sheet in this case. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a for each row in data. And we're going to do total plus equals row dot column name. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a file details. We're going to do new, or actually, we're going to create this called sheet details because that's a little bit more specific for what we're doing here. We're going to create that as a new object, type name PS object. We're going to do a add member. Input object is going to be sheet details. Member type is going to be a note property. Name, we're going to set that to sheet name. And then the value is going to be set to sheet. Then we're going to do another add member. Input object, once again, is going to be the sheet details. Member type is going to be the note property. Name for here is going to be the total from column name. And the value is going to be total. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do totals dot add sheet details. Once again, just do that void in the front here. And we can go ahead and we are going to do a write output totals. Now what we have to do in this one, because we opened up that Excel package, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make sure to close that Excel package afterwards. We haven't made any modifications to it, but all we need to do is close it, and we can even be totally safe and do the no save parameter. So if we do this here, so there we are, we have the 4 sheets, we have the totals of the 4 sheets. So that would be the 2 ways that you could actually calculate totals from Excel files. If you just have sheets, if you have files, what you could even do is you could have even more nested for loops if you had multiple files which had multiple sheets inside of them. You can also calculate that as well, and then have like a table that would calculate your file name, your sheet name, and then the total hours worked from that sheet, and just have it all there. There's a bunch of different options that you have with this Excel module. So I hoped that helped you out, Parker. If you have any other questions, or if any of you guys want to see another example on how you can do something with the Excel module, just let me know in the comments down below, and I will get to it as fast as I can. And hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when the next video comes out. And I will see you guys on the next video.